Welcome to Sunny Satanine, where I will show off the timed directional combat mod pack overhaul. Everything that I've made, all packed up in one mod. Starting with timed directional attacks. I did not mean to save that screenshot. With this first mod, you get stat buffs based on how you time your directional. I don't have that one on. How you time your directional attacks. Let's actually enable the more verbose output for demonstration. There you can see I got 10 weapon accuracy, that's weapon skill, for a charge time between 1 and 2 times. If I do a perfect attack between, I guess, 3 and 4 times, that's 1 over weapon speed, essentially. It will give me a plus 20 boost, and the stats, if you're watching my stats window in the top left, are agility for thrust, defenses for slash, and weapon skill for chop. And if I do go too fast, I will lose speed because I fumbled, I guess, and run out of fatigue. It's also worth noting that when I do a thrust, whenever I buff or change my ability, I try to counter it with endurance in order to keep the fatigue total the same. Now on to the second portion of this pack. Weighty charge attack parry. This buffs me based on how I'm moving when I release my attack and how long I charge my attack, based on weapon weight and speed again. You'll note when I'm charging the attack, I am more vulnerable and a bit slower. And then when I release the attack, I'm much slower for a short time to simulate following through or recovering from the attack itself. And I get buffs based on if I am moving forward or standing still, that's accuracy. In the air, which is strength, which is clever because it keeps you from cheesing over encumbrance, since you cannot jump when you're over encumbered. Side to side for agility, and backing up for defenses, like you're parrying, I guess. I don't need to actually change anything now. Then we move on to the movement portion of this. I can, if I jump while I'm sneaking or holding the sneak key, if this is OpenMW 0.48, do a little dodge not roll, and that consumes 50 fatigue. The fatigue gets messed up because I buff agility so much to make sure you're able to dodge that I cannot debuff endurance to compensate. But note that it gets set back to the correct value when the buff wears out anyway, so everything's good. Secondly, I can jump air dash based on my acrobatics skill. And if I keep doing that when I'm out of fatigue, I'll start taking damage. But it doesn't stop me from air dashing. Thirdly, I can swim boost. This is not very swimmable water. Come on. There we go. Oh, we have a problem here. Well, I can swim boost away from them. And you'll see when I'm at 0 fatigue, I can no longer boost, and I will run out of health for swimming while at 0 fatigue. So waters can get pretty deadly. Thirdly, for magic users, if you've got a staff, you can pull it out and then swap to your spell stance to get a nice spell casting boost. That buffs your magicka and your cast chance, while making it a bit harder for you to dodge because you're focusing on your spell casting. And finally, in order to keep all of this balanced, I have it so you lose 50% more health and heal 33% less. You can see when I drink this potion that it keeps ticking a little bit more slowly. That's in order to ensure that the per frame update actually works correctly. And this print to console setting, which is disabled by default, lets you see exactly what it's doing to your health. And finally, if your stats get messed up because of any of all this horrible mess I'm doing, you can debug reset stats and reload Lua. Reload Lua. And they should all get reset to 0. And the debug reset stats gets back to disabled by default, of course. So you never accidentally do it multiple times in a row. This can cause conflicts if you have constant effect buffs or shrine blessings or other things that'll fortify. I can probably demonstrate this with my personality ring. So yeah, that'll give me a little bit of personality. Then I can reload Lua, resetting my buffs, and it gets, when the buff wears out, it breaks again. So if you're going to use this, you just want to make sure that you don't have any temporary buffs active at the time. Reset everything to default and then put your gear back on or whatever. And you should be good to go. You should not need debug reset stats or whatever unless you are doing a lot of reloading Lua and messing with mods in a way that would break them. Just turning them on and off like this is not going to break them, or changing their values. All of that is at least tracked correctly. Either way, I hope you enjoy the mod, and the mod pack, I should say, and look forward to more options like shield bashing and, I don't know, location, body part specific damage, that kind of thing in the future.